We are in South Africa now experiencing very, very high debt levels. We are finding that the average South African household is spending approximately 75% of their disposable income on debt. What would you propose be done about the ever-increasing high levels of consumer and household debt?
Yeah, well, we've got a whole package of proposals that we want to see to implemented to make sure that companies that extend credit are much more responsible in the way that they do it, and that consumers have much more information about what they're signing up for. Because what we find is often consumers are in a desperate situation and they're signing up for something that's going to end up being prohibitively expensive, but they don't actually know what they're signing. So we've proposed a set of reforms that will enhance transparency and put the responsibility on lenders to behave more responsibly. But there's two sides to the debt story. The national debt is also extremely high relative to other emerging markets. And that's where the pressure comes onto the finance minister tomorrow. And he's done relatively well constraining what were, quite frankly, out of control increases in the public sector wage bill. But now we need to start seeing those cuts I referred to earlier coming through the main budget to reassure the rating agencies that we have debt under control.
And again, with the debt situation, specifically in terms of the National Credit Act, it doesn't help that we have legislation in place, but we don't have implementation and proper regulation of the debt industry.
Absolutely. I mean, across government you have this capacity problem. It prevents us from implementing the laws that we have. It prevents us from being able to cut some of the red tape that's holding back entrepreneurs. It prevents us from spending on the infrastructure program that we have. We saw some numbers that the finance minister announced a few years ago that the parastatals were spending 60% of their infrastructure budgets. That speaks to that capacity to implement, to build the infrastructure we need. And I think the finance minister is dealing in a way with a broken system. No matter how much money you plug into it, if you don't have the capacity to implement, the capacity to build, you're not going to turn this into a good value destination for investors to come and do business in.